What's going on, everybody? Hockey Boy back here with another video. And guys, we went 9-5-0 in our last Pick'ems video. We went 9-5-0 on Saturday. That brings our overall record to a 26-11-1 on the season. So let's move on to tomorrow's games. The Ducks are going to New York to face the Rangers. The Ducks come in at 1-1-0, and the Rangers come in at 2-1-0. The last game for the Anaheim Ducks, they got destroyed by the Islanders. They got bombed. 7-1 was the final in that game. And for the New York Rangers, they lost their last game to the Winnipeg Jets by a final score of 4-1. So both teams are looking to bounce back here. And the goalie matchup for this game is John Gibson for the Anaheim Ducks and Igor Shesterkin for the New York Rangers. And the New York Rangers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rangers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Florida Panthers going to Boston to face the Bruins. The Panthers come in at 2-0 and the Bruins come in at 2-0. So both teams are off to 2-0 starts to start off the season. The last game for the Florida Panthers, they beat the Buffalo Sabres by a final score of 4-3. And for the Boston Bruins, they won their game against the Coyotes. They won their game by a final score of 6-3. And the goalie matchup for this game is Sergei Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers and Linus Ullmark for the Boston Bruins. And the Florida Panthers are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Bruins to win this game at home. Next up, we have the LA Kings going to Detroit to face the Red Wings. The Kings come in at 1-2-0, and the Red Wings come in at 2-0. The last game for the LA Kings, they got their first win against the Minnesota Wild. It was a football game. It was a final score of 7-6 in that game. And for the Detroit Red Wings, they won their game against the New Jersey Devils by a final score of 5-2. And the goalie matchup for this game is Jonathan Quick for the LA Kings and Ville Husso for the Detroit Red Wings. And the LA Kings are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Red Wings to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins going to Montreal to face the Canadiens. The Penguins come in at 2-0, and the Canadiens come in at 1-2-0. The last game for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they won their game against the Lightning. They won that game by a final score of 6-2. And for the Montreal Canadiens, they lost their game to the Washington Capitals. They lost by a final score of 3-1 in that game. And the goalie matchup for this game is Tristan Jarry for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And for the Montreal Canadiens, they have Jake Allen going for them. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are a favorite in this one. Give me the Penguins to win this game on the road in Montreal. Next up, we have the Arizona Coyotes going to Toronto to face the Maple Leafs. The Coyotes come in at 0-2-0, and the Maple Leafs come in at 2-1-0. The last game for the Arizona Coyotes, they lost their game against the Bruins. They lost the game by a final score of 6-3. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they got their first win against the never mind, they didn't get their first win. They got the second win against the Ottawa Senators by a final score of 3-2. And the goalie matchup for this game is Karl Vejmelka for the Arizona Coyotes and Ilya Samsonov for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are a huge favorite in this one, and I don't blame them. The Arizona Coyotes are not looking good to start off the season, so I'm going to pick the Maple Leafs to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Vancouver Canucks going to Washington to face the Capitals. The Canucks come in at 0-2-0, and the Capitals come in at 1-2-0. The last game for the Vancouver Canucks, they lost their game by a final score of 3-2 versus the Philadelphia Flyers. And for the Washington Capitals, they won their game against the Montreal Canadiens by a final score of 3-1. The goalie matchup for this game is Thatcher Demko for the Vancouver Canucks and Darcy Kemper for the Washington Capitals. And the Washington Capitals are a favorite in this one. Give me the Capitals to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Colorado Avalanche going to Minnesota to face the Wild. The Avalanche come in at 1-1-0, and the Wild come in at 0-2-0. The last game for the Colorado Avalanche, they lost their game against the Calgary Flames by a final score of 5-3 in that that game. And for the Minnesota Wild, like I said, had a football game against the LA Kings. They lost that game by a final score of 7-6. And the goalie matchup for this game is Pavel Francouz for the Colorado Avalanche and Marc-Andre Fleury for the Minnesota Wild. And the Colorado Avalanche are a favorite in this one. Give me the Avalanche to win this game on the road in Minnesota. Next up, we have the Winnipeg Jets going to Dallas to face the Stars. The Jets come in at 1-0-0, and the Stars come in at 2-0-0. These two teams are undefeated, looking to improve their season to 3-0 or 2-0. The last game for the Winnipeg Jets, they won their game against the New York Rangers by a final score of 4-1. And for the Dallas Stars, they beat the Nashville Predators again by a final score of 5-1. So they're off to a great start. And the goalie matchup for this game is Connor Hellebuyck for the Winnipeg Jets and Jake Ottinger for the Dallas Stars. And the Dallas Stars are a favorite in this one. I had a really tough time picking in this game because Connor Hellebuyck played really good against the New York Rangers. But I'm going to have to go with the home team here and pick the home team. So give me the Stars to win this game at home. And the final matchup of the day, we have the Carolina Hurricanes going to Seattle to face the Kraken. The Hurricanes come in at 2-0-0, and the Kraken come in at 1-1-1. The last game for the Carolina Hurricanes, they won their game to the San Jose Sharks by a final score of 2-1. And for the Seattle Kraken, they lost their game against the Vegas Golden Knights by a final score of 5-2. The goalie matchup for this game is Frederik Andersen for the Carolina Hurricanes and Philip Grubauer for the Seattle Kraken. And the Carolina Hurricanes are a favorite in this one. Give me the Hurricanes to win this game on the road in Seattle. And that does it for today's picks for tomorrow's games. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please give me the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.